Good morning. My name is Billy Chabot. I'm the executive director here at the Seward House Museum. And I want to welcome everyone to the historic Seward House Museum. And we're so glad that it's a beautiful fall day and the rain is staying away. And today we are celebrating the groundbreaking ceremony for our barn and carriage project. And this day would not have come to fruition if not for the hard work, endless hours, and true dedication of my fellow coworkers and our board of trustees. And I would just ask that everyone please give them a hand right now. And even without all of that hard work, today certainly would not be possible without the generous support of the New York State Downtown Revitalization Initiative. That really kickstarted everything when in 2018, Auburn was the recipient of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. Funding also was provided by the New York State Environmental Protection Fund, the City of Auburn American Rescue Plan Fund, a grant from Save America's Treasures from the Department of the Interior, as well as private funding. And I cannot thank our funders enough. William Henry Seward noted, "Success in any undertaking comes of patient, unremitting effort." And while this has been a long and tedious process, this project all started with a vision. It was a vision for the barn and carriage buildings to preserve, rehabilitate, and provide a sustainable future for these very important structures. A project that I'm sure Seward himself would be proud of. So thank you so much. And now it is my pleasure to bring up to the stage our fearless leader, Mr. Edward Cochin, the president of the Board of Trustees here at Seward House Museum.
Thank you, Billy. What a great day. Thank you all for coming. So many people that helped make this possible, from Governor Hochul on down, and several of her representatives are here today. The city of Auburn, led by Mayor Quill, who's with us. He's got his forever, once a Marine, always a Marine pin on, but great partner, as well as the city councilors. But I also want to thank we have a really small but dedicated staff and a great board of directors, or trustees. And I want to acknowledge, I'm the president currently for a little while longer, but our two immediate past presidents, Dan Fisher and Richard Hole, who neither of whom could be here today, but Dan Fisher is here. Dan and Richard were fearless and really dedicated to the leadership of this museum and to make it better. And what we can't help but remember the challenges we had over the issues of the coal painting and so forth, and we won't go into them, but that was a very important part of why we're here today. So we thank all of them. We thank the dedicated staff, and we have a couple of volunteers that weren't able to make it today that we would have acknowledged if they were here, one of whom has been a volunteer tour guide for 50 years and couldn't be here today, but we wanted, at a recent event, we acknowledged her, but we wanted to do it again today. And she's, I believe, serving jury duty, doing another civic responsibility, so she couldn't be here. But we've had other great volunteers, and anyone that's familiar with the Seward House ought to get on the tail end of a tour. And when I do it, and I think I've read a lot about Seward and heard a lot, but when I do it, I learn something each time. And it's a great thing. Billy named some of the partners and some of the funding sources that made this day possible. And we have a great architect, Landmark Consulting. Not only are doing a great design, and hopefully when you see the two arched green wooden doors, they will be replaced in the renovation with glass doors, and the carriage hopefully will be renovated, and we'll be able to tell the story of the attempted coup on the entire government of the United States with this image of the carriage here. We'll also have some spaces for larger tours and so forth. So it's a great, both buildings, bringing them back will be great for the future of this house. There's people have heard me sometimes, I sometimes repeat myself, but it's not my words usually. It's usually words I've read that I think are significant. There's a Greek word, historia, which we interpret to be the word for history, but it's more than just what the real meaning is. The Greek version, knowledge, Greek version. Assemblyman Lamondes is here, who's Greek American. Knowledge gained through inquiry, and that's part of what we do here. You come through here, you inquire, you hear, you listen, and you learn. So we'll tell a great story. And before I introduce Mayor Quill, who's our great partner, and we hope his or her successor is going to be equally dedicated to this important structure. But before I do that, there's one other great thing I think about when I think about history, and this goes back almost 2,000 years to Cicero, who once said, he's speaking to his son, and he said, "Not knowing what happened before you were born is to live your life as a child." Just picture what we're listening to in the world right now, and think about how we help telling the story of history so that we don't end up as children. So with that, I have the great privilege of introducing Mayor Quill, who has been such a fantastic partner, and he will be missed.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I just realized you're one of the last groups that are going to get to hear me talk. So pull up a seat and relax, and I'll tell you all about my life. In all seriousness, thank you for the invitation to be here. When I was a young man, I lived down on Fitch Avenue, which is about 4 blocks to the south. I went to school at St. Mary's, which is altogether changed now. But we walked back and forth past this on the way to school, home for lunch, back and forth and back and forth. And I always said to myself, gee, that's a very nice building. I wonder what it is. And people told me, but it was much later years when I finally got to go inside here and look around and see what life was like, see how the Sewards lived. And then as I get older, I realized everything that the Seward family had done in the past, in how they still educating us. So it's just a complete pleasure to be here. I don't want to get long-winded because I'll tell you about my family tree, and I know you've all already heard that. So, but this is great, and I'm sure my predecessor, I'm sure they will have the same thoughts, the same ideas, and the group here, they're just a pleasure to work with, as well as city staff, helping them, working with them. So thank you. Everyone have a nice day.
One of the most important groups I had in my notes but must have overlooked was, and it's the reason we're really here, is the Emerson Foundation. Since 1951, the Emerson Foundation has supported this museum being open to the public. And I haven't added it up, but I know it's in the millions of dollars. And so there's a Latin phrase, sine qua non, which means without which we wouldn't have it, basically. And so when I look out, and I didn't see her earlier, but Dan Fessenden from the Emerson Foundation, we have to say, again, we wouldn't be here. We've had all kinds of other support, but that was fundamental to us having this structure survive and really thrive. So we will find another occasion, maybe when the buildings are done, to emblazon something with that sentiment, and thanks to the Emerson Foundation. So please thank them for me.
Thank you, Ed. And thank you, Dan, for being here today. Next, I want to call up to the stage our Central New York representative for Governor Kathy Hochul, Tracy Gianova.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here on behalf of Governor Hochul, who unfortunately was unable to attend, but she did tour the Seward House this summer when she came through, and the Seward House has always been a landmark that she talks about and such an asset to Central New York. I'm very happy to be here. I was able to get a tour I think it was February maybe. So I'm very excited to see the next, and hopefully I will be accompanying the governor to the groundbreaking. So, ribbon cutting, sorry. We'll be back soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. And now I'd like to invite up to the podium from the Office of Planning, Development, and Community Infrastructure, New York Department of State, Holly Granite.
Hi, everyone. I'm so pleased to be representing the New York State Department of State today to celebrate the groundbreaking on the rehabilitation of the Seward House Museum's carriage house and barn, which serve as the gateway to the Seward House Museum campus. In July 2018, the City of Auburn was selected as the Central New York region recipient of a $10 million Downtown Revitalization Initiative, or DRI, grant. The DRI is a statewide initiative that provides funding for high-priority projects designed to boost local economies and transform city centers into vibrant communities. This DRI project was one of 12 transformational projects that were identified and awarded in 2019. Along with projects like creating the new public safety building, developing a downtown public plaza, establishing Auburn's first peer recovery facility, creating a culinary arts facility for Cayuga Community College, renovating Auburn's public theater, renovating the Rudolph Building, renovating the Willard Memorial Chapel, and installing public art throughout downtown Auburn. The renovation of the Seward Museum's carriage house and barn will continue the momentum of Auburn's revitalization, helping to develop its numerous cultural, historical, and recreational resources. Thank you for inviting me to join you today, and on behalf of the Department of State, we look forward to working with you to see this project and the remaining DRI projects completed. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Now I would like to invite up our Director of Operations here at the Seward House Museum, without whom this project absolutely would not be possible, Mitch Manicha.
Thanks, Billy. I want to thank our funders for making this project happen. The Downtown Revitalization Initiative, New York State Organization of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, and the Department of the Interior for the Save America's Treasures grant we received for the project, as well as our local, state, and federal partners that continue to believe in the work that Seward House does. I also want to thank our project team, which consists of LaChase Construction and Landmark Consulting. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with them on this project, and I cannot wait to see the fruits of their labor come to fruition over the course of the next year. I think Billy's quote that she took from Seward about patience being important is relevant for me for this project. I've been here at the Seward House full-time since 2015, and in the first month of working here full-time, I filled an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with a plan to completely restore the barn and carriage house with various grants from the local, state, and federal governments, and all the work was going to get done by April of 2016. Did not happen. So things take a while, and everybody here, all of you, our stakeholders, our partners, and everyone at the museum has been extremely patient waiting for this project to start, and I couldn't be more thrilled to finally see it start. It's going to be a transformational project for the Seward House Museum, and it couldn't come at a better time. We're beginning a new strategic plan next year, and so this is the first step of many on a new great chapter of the Seward House Museum, and I want to thank all of you for being a part of it, and I want to thank all of you for helping us get there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, patience. something that I continuously have to work on. Next up, we have our Assemblyman from the 126th District, Assemblyman John Lamondes.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's a beautiful day. It's a wonderful event, and it's great to be here. And President Kochi, and I can't believe you didn't notice my arm was long. Come on. Oh, the arm is getting short shrift here. But thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. This is the fourth time that that I've been with you for something significant in Auburn, and that's really wonderful because it illustrates the history of Auburn, not just locally, but how important Auburn is nationally. And so not enough people understand that. This is a treasure. This is a local treasure, it's a state treasure, but it's a national treasure as well. And I'm so glad to be a part of this. I want to thank all of you, everybody that put blood, sweat, and toil into getting this where it is today. It doesn't happen without that hard work and that vision. And that's what gets all of these projects going. And most importantly, at least to me, in the way I was raised, if you don't understand where you came from and what your past is, you can't really inform your future as much. And you have to bring with you the good, and you have to learn from the bad. And I sure hope that we can keep this going, build on it, and bring it to fruition so that it is really recognized as a national treasure. And there's so many things here that people don't really understand the significance of, and it's right here. We go by it every day. We talk about it, we see it, and we don't give the credit that it deserves and the importance that it serves for our entire country. So thank you all. I really appreciate being here. And to the last, I want to say to the Emerson Foundation and to everybody else that contributed funding, these things don't happen without that money. And so thank you very much. Let's keep this going to the next stage.
Thank you so much, John. And finally, we have a Representative Michael Stratemeyer representing Claudia Tenney's office in the 24th District of New York. And he has a congressional commendation that he's brought today, and he will read that for us now. Michael?
Thank you very much. I apologize that Claudia couldn't be here today. She is currently in D.C., but everybody here has said it perfectly. This is such a significant occasion, and the Assemblyman put it perfectly that this is a national site. This is something that is nationally recognized. The Congresswoman has been working with Senator Gillibrand to create a national heritage site, part of Seward House and all of Cayuga County, throughout the Finger Lakes region. So this is one of the key pieces of why this is going to become a national heritage site. And again, I apologize that she couldn't be here today, but she did send a congressional commendation certificate, just thanking everybody, and again, just celebrating this occasion. Hopefully she'll be here for the ribbon cutting. But on behalf of the Congresswoman, I'll present this to you, Ed. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay. I think we are ready, and thank you to everyone again for showing up today. Let's start digging.